friends, welcome to this week's DFU. Today we are continuing with our 14th class in the Final Fantasy VII semester. If you have not watched the previous 13 episodes, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why did you show up now? There's no value to you showing up now. Please go back and watch the other 13 and then show back up to this particular point. That way, there won't be any spoilers, because guess what? There are spoilers. Chris is telling me everything.
Yes.
I am your host and fellow student Kelsey, and teaching us today is a man who actually enjoys ripping our heart out on, camera and letting everybody be really terribly sad. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I need to secretly just put Vincent behind you versus Tifa.
You would hear the moment that episode dropped. I would be like, Chris, what the shit?
So I do want to address that. Unfortunately, I didn't have a Tifa ready for this one. I got to put it on a black background. I normally have them on transparent. We normally have a black background. But as you can see, we do not have that anymore. So you will have to just deal with aluminum being behind Kelsey for this episode. And then we will...
Aloy is wonderful.
And then we will switch back.
And you will be happy about
Tifa
it.
At some point. Preferably next episode. Unless your favorite character has changed at that point. But where were we? Yes, we left.
Well, we left off with Aerith dying and everybody trying to comfort Cloud and walking away. Nothing happened after that.
That we did. Poor Cloud. Oh man.
Poor everyone.
Yeah, true. It was hard on everybody. Man, that scene is just...
Except Vincent, who's just like, yep, that's a corpse, and walks off.
So I didn't want to steal from the moment, but there's always been one thing that's always been talked about between the fan base, and we're kind of wondering how they're going to do this with a remake, is when Cloud goes to lay her body in the water, and then she just drifts down to the bottom. Cloud was literally standing an inch next to her. It's like, how the fuck was he above water? What was he standing on? Because it literally is dropping her into an ocean almost is what it looks like. And he was literally standing an inch next to her. So we're kind of wondering maybe they'll do that a little bit better and it will make a little bit more sense. But yeah.
Actually have her drift before she sinks, or sink and drift at the same time like a submarine.
'Cause I just felt obviously they kind of cut it to where it just shows her going down. You don't actually see her go all the way down where Cloud's standing next to her. But it would just be so awkward to see Cloud just push her out into the middle. And then her just start going down. Oh, man.
I like how aggressively you said push. It could have been this gentle,
nudge.
This nudge, away, and you're just push her.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get off me, you corpse. You're starting to smell. Good God.
So have you ever seen the YouTube channel or any of the comics of Sidine and Happiness?
Yes.
They actually have a Final Fantasy VII skit. And it's about 13 seconds long, and it's in black and white. And in the game, there's this potion called Phoenix Down. And what it does is that it brings a character back to life whenever they fall in battle. So Cloud pushes her, she goes down into the water, and all of a sudden he just goes, Phoenix Down! And then you hear her come back to life, and she's fucking screaming underwater and fucking sucking in water and shit like that. She dies, and he just Phoenix Down! Does it again. But it also shows whenever she gets stabbed by Sephiroth, he's Phoenix Down! And she starts screaming, she comes back and the sword still through her stomach, and then she dies, and then Cloud's just Phoenix Down! Does it again, and Sephiroth's even for me, this is fucked up. It's it's so funny, but it's so true. It's all this death happens, but yet we have this fucking potion we can pull out of our back pocket, just Phoenix Down, and you're back to full health. Our fucking full res materia, we have that too. None of this is ever fucking used. But if you die in battle, you'll come back to life. If you die in a cinematic, you're fucked. That's game over right there. You're just fucked.
I feel if that is a line that if we were ever to introduce aliens to video games, that would need to be something we explained. Right. If you die in battle, it's not the end for you. But during a cinematic, you're not. You're gone.
You were hashtag plot. That is what you were. 100%.
That is accurate and still sad.
Yes, that is true. But we quickly collect ourselves outside of the City of Ancients, and we know that we cannot let this moment stop us. It sucks that we lost Aerith, but she died for a reason, and we need to figure out what we can do to stop Sephiroth. We cannot let her death be in vain, so we continue to push forward. Now, as I did explain to some of you before we left out the last one, a lot of this is going to be a lot of quick run through. But luckily enough for us, we're actually going to, and this is going to be a great spot for Kelsey, we are going to get a huge piece of some background on Cloud in this episode.
Yay!
Yes, that is going to be the whole end of the episode. And do I have a couple videos for us to watch? It's going to be great. So, we got some story. I'm excited. But first, we move through, Coral Valley? Yeah, Coral Valley Cave. Once again, I'm going to show some quick pics so that way they're out there. You can kind of see what it looks like. Did I not grab one for Coral Valley? I did not grab one for Coral Valley. It's basically just one of the seashells. It's a gigantic seashell. There's nothing. Oh, yeah, I did. I grabbed the inside of the valley because the gigantic seashell, I couldn't find one that actually looked good. It all looked like really fucking compressed shit. But
tell me what you really think.
Okay. Anyways, now that I have Discord on the right side, thank God I didn't pull that up while we were fucking talking because that would have been annoying. Now that I have Discord on the right side, let's jump into these pictures here. Okay. Anyways, so this is the inside of the cave. Once again, this is kind of video game-ish, so I'll kind of have to definitely point it out to you a little bit. And it's kind of hard to see. It's a little picture, but that's actually huge. So basically, you're climbing up through those cracks. Like Cloud is basically like the size of a flea here. That whole big thing on the left is a ladder that goes all the way down. There's some secret hidden materia over there for the people who want to know. Once you get up to like the top of a crack, it asks if you want to jump left, right, middle. So it actually is strategic which way you go in order to get to where you want to go. For those of you who are looking,
is stuff hidden?
Yes, it's
like
not really.
Cracks?
No, not hidden in the cracks, but like there's ledges, and you can only get to certain ledges by going up certain ones and coming back and going up or down certain ones. So, but each ledge kind of has a chest on it. You'll be able to see the chest. I think one of the ledges have materia. I know for a fact at the end of the ladder there is materia. So do not go straight up the ladder and to the right to the cave to move forward. Go down so you can get materia. But once we get past that cave, we go into a small little cave that takes us into our next spot, which is the Icicle Inn, a nice small little snow town, which looks like this. It's all nice and neat and snowy, and people are happy. Da-da-da-da-da. It's all fun stuff.
Something about the way you're saying that is actually raising my suspicion significantly.
No, actually, it actually is kind of nice. Although we do get a little bit of some story here, which I don't think that I prepared myself for. Hashtag uh-oh. Due to limitations with Xbox. So, in the Icicle Inn, there is a house, and I don't have 100% all the dialogue down, so this might be something that we touch on at the end when we kind of do an over wrap about the Cetra and stuff. But someone of importance did live here, and that someone was Eris's mother. Her house is still standing. Her biological mother. Not the other mother that we left in Midgar. The biological mother. Yeah, she is still alive. Sorry, wrong. She's not still alive. Her house is still standing. She is not alive. She died on the train a long time ago. We talked about that. We went past that. Yeah.
That is a very crucial distinction. Thank you for correcting yourself there.
Yes. Kelsey would have been like, so she died, and then she came back to life, and I don't remember when that happened.
Well, we got two of them. I was probably wrong about one of the facts.
Anyways, so going in her house, there's some recordings and stuff in it that you can kind of like, mess with and get some text, and it kind of does some flashbacks. So, Hojo has always been upset at like his person before him. It's kind of like who kind of made him. You're actually going to kind of get like a little bit of story about a lot of different people in this actually. So Hojo's always kind of been like upset about the professor they had before him. His name was Professor Gast, and it was more along the lines of like how he was able to not only find an ancient, but basically Gast is Eris' real father, and they did an experiment in order to make another ancient, which was Aerith. So he knew her mother was an ancient, so he basically wanted to breed with her to make another ancient. So that way they can have another. Yeah, it's all science. Want to learn everything about the Cetra and everything else. He's the one that passed this information on to Hojo, which is why we saw him trying to get Red 13 and Aerith to get it on. Let's remember that fucking dark scene for a minute. Wanted them to get it on because he thought that he could then make another ancient keep going. Professor Gast also was the person who started the whole Genova project, because she also told him about Genova, which led to Hojo's research, which Hojo was the person who really jump started the fucking. It's Project Genova. It was Project S and then Project J, right? I think it was just Project Genova, and then it went to Project S, and then it's Project something else, because what the other soldiers are not Project S. It's what Hojo wanted them to be, but no one was ever as perfect as Sephiroth. And the reason that we know of so far is because Sephiroth was injected with it whenever he was still in his mother's womb, who was Lucrezia. Anyways, but we don't know who his dad is and shit like that. Well, I know who his dad is. You don't know who his dad is, but we'll get to that point. Anyways, so obviously she volunteered for an experiment because she was a scientist, so therefore she got around with Hojo, and Hojo was the person who was doing the whole Genova genes, so they made Project S, and that's what created Sephiroth. Jumping back to Aerith's mother. So he basically, there's this house that had this lab in it, and like I said, you can definitely get a flashback where he's going to have you tell you a little bit more about the Cetra. It's stuff that we already know at this point. He just kind of talks a little bit more about like his involvement with it, about, you know, making Aerith and shit like that. She wasn't like, she was biologically made for sure, and I do think they had like a relationship. I don't know how much of it was more love versus science for him, but I don't think we should put Hojo and Gast in the same light. I'll put it that way. Hojo is a creepy fucking guy. Gast really isn't that bad. But yeah,
I'll take your word for it. But at this point, I'm getting super creeper vibes.
And yeah, and once again, like I said, we'll wrap back around through this once I have a chance to get a lot of the dialogue. I know he was just more about like constantly wanting to learn about the Cetra and stuff like that, which probably was annoying as fuck for her. But we'll wrap back around to that when we do like an overall of, you know, wrapping up things. You know, what do we not understand about Cetra, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, my Xbox has just not been wanting to cooperate with me. So, moving forward, and making a new save on my computer would take extremely way too long. So, moving forward, the cool part is that in this town you actually run into the Turks again. The Turks are back. Well, not the Turks, but Elena. And she actually, it's as you're walking through the town and you're going towards the back, towards the trees, she actually has you stop, because basically what you need to do is, we're trying to head to the North Crater. And I'll go ahead and bring up the map right quick, so that way we can use that as a reference. But so we're trying to head back to the North Crater. The reason why we're trying to head to the North Crater is because whenever Sephiroth killed Aerith, the first words out of his mouth were, my journey is taking me north past the land of snow. So we know he's heading north. We know that's where he's going. Okay. And then on our map, we can see the North Crater is all the way to the top, and we're at Icicle Inn. We're almost there. We are very fucking close. So he's going to the North Crater. We have to get down those mountains to get over to the North Crater. So this is where you get a nice little mini game, and by nice I mean extremely fucking infuriating. But you get to go snowboarding with Cloud, which is pretty irritating. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably like, if I had to pick something out of Final Fantasy VII that I honestly didn't care to do that much, if this is one thing I could skip, it would probably it. That would probably be it.
Is this code for you're bad at this?
It's not necessarily bad at it. It's just unnecessary. The entire thing is unnecessary. But you go down because you can't win or lose. You don't win or lose. There's no score. They have shit up for you to try to get a score if you want one, but there's no winning or losing, which is another reason why it's dumb in my opinion. But anyways, as you're trying to go down, Elena stops you. She says you got to stay there. She gets upset, and then she gets upset because she feels that you guys set Sun up to go into the Temple of Ancients, kind of get fucked up by Sephiroth, and so she actually goes to punch you. You can dodge this, or you can just take the fucking hit, and then you wake up in the inn later. You got your ass knocked out by Elena, which is pretty funny. But you can dodge it, and she'll just go tumbling down and rolling out of the way, and then you just kind of go on about your business. But before you can go down the mountain, you need two things. One, you need a snowboard. Two, you need a map, because you don't know where the fuck you're going. One, snowboard's very easy. It's that first house right there on the right, I believe. There's a little kid in there. He's grounded. You can go in there, talk to him. He'll tell you you can borrow a snowboard. Take a snowboard, get out. The other one is you go take a map, and it's out of that far back right house, I believe. It's on the wall. You'll see it as soon as you walk in the house, but you also see some potions as well. You can do one of two things here. Both are going to lead to the same thing, but one affects you somewhat negatively, which doesn't affect the story whatsoever. but it depends on if you want to be a good guy or bad guy. Some people like that stuff, so I'm just throwing it out there. You can go take the potions, you can take the map, and then you can go talk to the old guy, and which he'll then say, hey, before you leave, it's very dangerous. Make sure you take those potions, those map that's over there. And then he knows that you already have them, and then calls you a bad person because you just decided you're going to steal stuff. Or you can go talk to him first, and then he'll tell you to go take it, and then you're all good to go. Anyways, your choice. Do what you want to do. You know, it does not affect the story whatsoever moving forward. It does not. Like, you literally will probably never see this old guy again. I'm just throwing it out there. So, it's not because he dies. It's just there's no real reason to come back here unless you really fucking love the snowboarding. So, I did not. So, I did not come back here.
Which, obviously, I'm planning on this being my favorite part of the entire game.
There you go. But, this is what our map looks like. I know, kind of lacks a lot of information. A lot of information. And
I feel like it could be more helpful.
The sad part is you don't understand the amount of information it's lacking. There are 13 destinations to go to on this map. And it is very extremely hard to get to those 13 destinations. That's how much information this map is lacking. There are destinations that aren't even on the map, but they're actually part of the map. So I encourage the people at home. I understand that Final Fantasy VII is kind of a collector's edition type thing now because of how old it is. And most of the strategy guides out there are like $150. So buying your own strategy guide probably isn't within your, bucket. There are walkthroughs. There are tons of pictures you can look up that show you everything. But there are a lot of good things to get here. There is a summon materia to get here. And that's the only thing I'm really going to cover. There's a lot of different items you can get here. Just reading down a quick list right quick. There's Mind Source, Poison, Safety Bit, Elixir, the All Materia, and then the main thing I was talking about, which is the Alexander Summon Materia. The reason why I'm going to touch on this is because there's a trick to it. So, and what I mean by there's a trick to it is that if you go to section and where you fall off on the mountain, as far as when you get done with snowboarding, is where you're going to land in one of these spots. So if you don't know where you're going and you don't have something telling you like, hey, you need to take a left here, right here, left here, right here in order to come out here, you're just going to land somewhere and hope you know where the fuck you're at, especially if you don't have a fucking map in front of you. Luckily, I have a strategy guide, so it helps me out every single time. But in Area 8, and I do want to strongly say this, just because these areas have numbers does not mean 8 leads to 9, because it's actually different. The left side of 8 leads to 12, and the right side of 8 leads to 10. So they do not go around number-wise whatsoever, at all. Do not think they do. And there are also certain areas like this one. This leads to 4. This side leads to 4A. This leads to 4B. This leads to 4C. There's tons of places to go here. Multiple different items you can get. But I will only touch on the materia because I don't have all night. So,
are the numbers completely meaningless then?
They're helpful with the strategy guide. The numbers were made for the strategy guide in order for you to connect those pieces together. The numbers literally are not part of the game. So, in Area 8, you will see steam coming out of water to your right. And a little bit of a bank that you can walk on. You want to walk down there, and when you do, you get an action that pops up that says, oh, look, a hot spring. Touch it or walk away. Touch it. You want to touch it. The reason why is because you're going to get the hot spring water on your hands. And then you want to travel to 13A. When you get to 13A, you will meet a small little snow witch, and she will immediately attack you because she can smell the hot spring water on her. On you. She'll say, "Get away from me with those filthy hands." You want to kill her. When you beat her, that is how you get the Alexander Summon Materia. She drops it. If you do not have the hot spring on your hands, she will not attack you. And I think she goes away. I could be wrong about that part. I don't think she does. I'm not sure. But either way, hot springs, get the Alexander Materia if you're trying to collect all the materia. If you're asking Chris, is Alexander really that good? Do you use him that often? No. I've literally used him one time to see what he looks like, and I've never used that materia again. So it's not that important unless you're trying to get all the materia. But once again, if you get all the materia, you can make the master materia, and then you can literally just have one piece of materia versus 15 different summon materia in your pocket to sift through. You can put one master summon materia, which takes no mana, and literally you can use it as many times as you want to, and just put that on one character, and they can be your summoner. Which, by the way, is how Final Fantasy progressed forward in the later titles. One character was known as the summoner, while the other one's focused on magic, and other one's focused on physical. This was the last game where you actually had one character, or where all characters could basically do everything. Right,
Interesting.
right. They've played with the materia system a lot since 7. A lot. Anyways, so that is the snowy hell that is Icicle in. Once again, we're blasting through these, I know, but this is literally how fast you're going to go through it in the game unless you're trying to stop and take everything. But there's literally no story at all whatsoever going through these. So, next, we move on to, and by the way, there is one spot in the snowy place. What number is that? Do they not have the number on here for that one? I don't think they do. I know it's like somewhere around 12, but like once you start going to 12 and ish around there, you'll go to where like it looks like you're on the outside map, like the world map, where this cloud is really really small, and there's like a lot of snow, and they'll tell you if you hit a button, you'll place down like a stick so you don't lose your place, like a marker, because like as the blizzard comes through, it moves your screen all around and shit to make you like lost. You need to find what you want to find and get the fuck out, because the longer you take, you're actually being affected by the elements, and Cloud will pass out due to being so cold. He will actually pass out, and you will wake up not in Icicle Inn, but in Mr. Halzoff place. Now, once again, you could go straight back down from his place and go straight back to the Great Glacier, which is where you were at, and start walking through that snow shit again to get back to the other places. So don't think that you'll lose out. You won't. But the less time you spend there, the better. Anyways, you can rest at his house before you move on. Moving on, we go into the Gaia Cliffs. There's different ways to go through here. Mainly, all of it's just climbing. Basically, if we get to the top of this, we're going to get to where basically we think Sephiroth is at. So that's the whole point of this, is to get through the cliffs, get to the top. I took a couple pictures here because I thought it looked cool. This is like just like one of the shots of like whenever you go like outside the cliffs after you've been exploring the caves and you're like walking outside on the mountains. That's one of the shots there. This is some of the shots from inside the cave. I thought like the walls and stuff like it looked really really cool. It's like all these weird looking.
These do look cool. They're really pretty.
Really weird looking minerals, and that one you can actually see cloud and stuff in there too. But anyway, so that's kind of like the cliffs. You go through that. The cool part is like whenever you're outside and you're climbing up these walls, you actually have to stop and do like lunges. And the reasons why you want to, or not lunges, but I can't remember what they call them. It's kind of, I don't know. We're not even gonna try. But anyways, you're basically trying to, or no. I'm thinking of Crisis Core. Crisis Core, they do that in there. In this game, he does. You run in place. So you're gonna have a temperature gauge on your screen, and if you drop below a certain point, Cloud's gonna pass out again, and you're gonna wake up back in that end. So you need to try to take breaks in between climbing and get your temperature gauge as high up as you possibly can. It seems that 37, let's see, when climbing the cliffs, you move between the ledges. You raise Cloud's body temperature by repeatedly tapping the button. You must do this every ledge to keep his temperature around 37 degrees. If the temperature falls below 26 degrees, Cloud passes out and awakens back at Mr. Halzoff's house. So there you go. So do not fall below 26. Sometimes you're like, I can make it. Trust me, you won't. Just stop, warm yourself up, and go. I've been in those situations plenty of times. You won't. You just won't. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we fight some boss fights and stuff like that. We get all the way up to the top, and we're finally here. We're finally at the crater. We're here. So the first thing I do want to point out when moving into the crater. So guys, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you understand your materia at this point. From this point on, there's going to be nothing but a lot of hard boss fights. Understand your materia. Understand who needs to have the materia. Break your team down. I'm a big person of like, this is the person that does my summons. This is the person that kind of does my healing. This is like my main damage dealer. That's how I always do it. Red 13 normally takes care of a lot of my fucking spells as far as like barrier and shit like that. Tifa's always my healer. Cloud normally is my damage dealer. And then whenever I don't have to heal and I don't have to throw up barriers, all three of them are just pummeling the fuck out of whatever's in front of me. So it's not like they're going to be stuck to that role, but you need to make sure that you understand where your materia is at, because you don't want to be two people down and like, fuck, I need to heal and bring people back to life. And one of those people that have all that materia is dead and they can't do it. You want to be very, very careful about who it is you're trying to keep alive the entire time. Like Tifa, it sounds like Cloud's the most important person on my team, but Tifa's the most important person on my team. Because she goes down, I'm fucked. Unless I get some potions off, I'm fucked. So Tifa is the most important person on my team to keep alive. For sure. Okay. But anyways, moving forward, we have a long, hard road ahead of us. But we are finally back to some story. So as we move deeper into the crater, we're looking for Sephiroth, but we see a lot of his followers. We see a lot of these guys with the black cloaks and the tattooed numbers on their hands, just kind of killing over as they're getting closer and closer to the crater, falling over everywhere. Search these bodies. You get items. You get materia. One thing that you can get pretty early into this, I think it's like the second screen, is Neo Bahamut. Yes, another Bahamut summon. Yes. Neo Bahamut.
Bahamut with cheese.
Exactly. That's the dude. That is the dude. Anyways, also, don't forget, guys, something to stock up on. If I haven't set it up to this point, which I don't think I have. I think I did in the very third video. But if I haven't set it up to this point, tints. Tints are super fucking useful. When you get to a save point, you can use a tint. A tint restores all mana and all health for all characters. And they're like fucking 500 gil. At this point, you should be shitting out like 5,000 gil. It should be that big of a deal. Definitely at Icicle Inn. Stock the fuck up. Anyways, so tints are really, really good. Make sure you're stocked up on potions. Like I said, once again, understand who your healer is and keep them alive. Also, once again, barrier. Barrier is good. If you don't have wall by now, start trying to push to get wall. Wall is the greatest protection you can have. It's the highest level of barrier. Barrier is really great, but you'll start to see as it breaks off, you'll get like MP barrier and then physical barrier, and they're separated, and you got to cast both of them to have both of them on at the same time. That's a waste of a turn. Work to get to wall. Use your enemy skill materia. Go to Costa del Sol. Fight a fucking gigantic octopus with a fucking shell on his head. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see him. And use the manipulate materia on them. I know I told you to pick this up a long time ago. If you use that, you can manipulate them because they're so low, and you'll have them on your team. Then you get their turn. Use their turn to cast Big Guard on your team. That basically does what both of those skills do in one cast. So then you're not wasting turns. There you go. Throw that on fucking Red 13. You can just cast Big Guard. That's going to give you your MP barrier and your physical barrier all at the same time. Boom.
God, I promise if I was playing the game, I'd be listening to that. Or if I had any idea how to do any of this, that would have been valuable.
It is extremely valuable until you get wall. Once you get wall, don't use Big Guard. It runs out too fast. Wall stays up for like fucking ever. But it takes a while to get to wall. It's the last level of barrier, and it's a lot of levels in barrier. So it's going to take some time to get to that one. Anyways, so unless you're killing the fucking ultimate weapons at this point, and if you are, that's impressive because they're not even on the map, 1, and 2, they would literally just fucking destroy you. Okay, so moving forward. So we're moving into the crater, but Shinra ends up showing up. Woo woo. I know, it's our favorite people. Rufus, Scarlet, all of them are all showing up. Obviously, you just want to ignore them, kind of keep moving forward into the center. There's like this like wind that's like whipping through and shit that you got to watch out for, like these like little I didn't get pictures for this because the video that we're about to be watching here has some of this on it. But you know, you'll see like these like little winds that are whipping through. If those hit you, they'll knock you off. You got to start over again. Da 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 da. And when I say start over again, I mean start the entire game over again. No, I'm just joking. Let's start over again.
Obviously, yeah. This is the do or die moment.
Exactly. But your main point here is that we're trying to get past. I think there's like 3 different trials where they do it, where they have the wind coming through. And it's like a long stretch of road. You just gotta time it out. That's all you gotta do. Just time it. Move forward. You're gonna move into a boss fight once you get done with this, and we're moving in. We're starting to get to the big levels of Genova here, guys. Moving into Genova Death is the name of this one. Genova Death. Just to kind of give you guys
a little on the nose.
Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a tip, some stuff that you can do. Once again, MP barrier, haste, regen. These are all great things to have. Like I said, Big Guard, I'd use that instead. Haste speeds you up, so that way your turns come back. You get 2 turns per person versus to their 1 turn. Regen is the same thing as heal, except it constantly keeps your person regenerating health for a short amount of time. Something good to have. But if you beat Genova Death, which if you've been listening to me at this point, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. We know that Sephiroth is deep within the crater. The main thing we want to do now is after we kill Genova Death, she drops the black materia. Which means, how did Genova get the black materia? Some of you might be asking.
Yeah.
Well, we know we gave it to Sephiroth. But one thing that Cloud said very early in the game, and I know his background has kind of been shrouded in mystery about what he remembers, what he doesn't remember, is he said he knows for a fact there was no way Sephiroth could have survived. But he also doesn't know how he survived either. And everybody's been saying just Sephiroth is dead. But we've been seeing Sephiroth. Well, we're about to get into that. So, but now we have the black materia under our control again, although Cloud is too scared to use it, so you get to give it to one of your party members. You really don't have a choice. For some reason, I feel like I always have to give it to Red 13. To be fair, I would always give it to Red 13 anyway. There are some party members that straight up refuse it. They will I do not want to hold on to that. They absolutely will straight up refuse you giving it to them because the entire team's standing around you at this point. I know normally you're used to walking with just 3, including Cloud. So yeah, anyway, so then we go back some more wind barrier roads. We're starting to move on, and we are now going to jump into our first video. What? We're back at Nibelheim.
Interesting. I don't know if you can say that as long as you know it's an illusion, you're set.
Oh. It's Sephi.
All right, let's go.
What?
What? Yeah, I'm with Yuffie.
Right. Something to really pay attention to is how Tifa's reacting to this stuff. I don't want you to watch this, Cloud. Look away.
Uh-huh.
Now, we've seen this exact scene already. Something's a little bit different about that guy right there in the middle, though. I like how Yuffie just forgets they're an illusion.
Yeah,
Are
right?
you okay?
Huh. Yeah, I'm with Cloud.
Failed experiment, Hojo.
Uh-huh. What? trying.
I love his laugh, by the way. He does that whole arm to the
Right.
side, like it's so good. Oh, now he's talking about the picture they took. Remember that? Y'all posed for the picture. That's the photographer that took it. Doesn't look like Cloud to me.
Nope.
Thoughts.
So he's a Hojo experiment.
Maybe Sephiroth is really just fucking with him. But something that we've gathered this entire story is Cloud has a lot of blank spots in his memory. A lot. And on top of that, Tifa's been acting very weird whenever he goes to recall things that happened, especially 5 years ago in Nibelheim.
Yeah.
We do know Sephiroth does have some sort of control over Cloud. So we know the Genova cells are real. We know that's real.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's real no matter what. Like that is part of this period. Right. Are we gonna learn more?
We're gonna learn more. We're not done yet. I just kind of want to see what your thoughts were. We still got 2 more videos.
I think screwing with his understanding of reality currently is a brilliant idea for a villain. And I'm going to go with Sephiroth from where I stand. I know nothing. I'm going to go with Sephiroth probably showing him the truth or something that is very close to the truth.
Okay. And I do agree with the fact that right now messing with Cloud's sanity, especially with the fact that he knows Cloud's team has the black materia again. And he needs that back. Yep. Messing with that psyche a little bit. Yeah. We're jumping into it.
And given that Tifa's reaction to everything is... I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. But given that Tifa's reaction to everything is horrified, turning away, crying, don't pay attention to any of this. Well, your opinion's the only one that matters. Like, if Tifa wants Cloud to remain sane, and if he is everything that he thought he was before this interaction, she's doing a very shit job of helping him get there.
And we'll figure out a little bit more about that too in this video. It's actually one of the videos, so we'll figure out a little bit more of Tifa's reactions and why they are the way that they are.
This feels like an illusion.
That alone shows you how strong his illusion magic is.
Holy crap.
So here we have Rufus, Hojo, and Scarlet. And now Cloud and them show up out of nowhere.
He had to bring all of them here for a reason.
See how Tifa's words are different? I think it's very easy just to tell by Cloud's posture that his psyche is broken at this moment. Sephiroth has a pretty strong hold on him. So he's blocking out Tifa's voice so he can't hear Tifa.
No. Bad.
Something to point out while it's kind of quiet here is he actually said that in the trailer for the remake too at the end. Sephiroth's like, remember that hatred. Remember that. Use that. You know, it's like the last things he said to Cloud.
Ooh.
As you just heard him say, he used it as a weapon against himself. And who is it? Sephiroth. So he did die.
crap is that?
We will talk about them, and I do mean them in a second here. This is that one questionable scene, by the way, with Tifa's chest that I told you about, that everybody always points out to. So get ready for that. That is the final ship that you get in the game, by the way. So
Oh, cool.
There. It's called the High Wind, which is also Sid's last name. Okay, so the next video we're going to go into literally picks up right off that. For some reason, dude cut it in half. I don't know why, but before we go into that, thoughts. I'm sure you have a lot.
None of that was what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but that definitely wasn't it. So, Sephiroth is dead.
So
sort
he did
of.
die. Cloud was right about that. He did die.
As did he. Like, Cloud died and Sephiroth died.
Cloud just says he doesn't know how he would have beat Sephiroth. That's all we know.
Okay.
He said Sephiroth is extremely strong. He has no idea how he would have killed Sephiroth. All he knows is that, according to Shinra, Sephiroth was killed in action. KIA. Not MIA. KIA. And now we see Sephiroth basically regrowing his body.
Yeah, how is he doing that bit, by the way?
With the Genova cells and being part ancient-ish, using the life stream, he's been reconstructing his own body through his own will. That's why he said through Genova's reunion, or through the Genova cells and Sephiroth's will, he wasn't diffused by the life stream, but instead was brought together.
Wow. Okay, that's incredible. He's just got a whole hell of a lot cooler in my book. Still bad guy, but still
Sephiroth
is
very fucking popular. Sephiroth is very fucking popular.
He's cool. And all of these different experiments, everybody's basically been injected with these Genova cells, are all trying to get back to Sephiroth.
Right.
Is that right?
That's what Cloud said. This whole time I thought I was pursuing him, but instead I was being summoned by him.
Summoned by him.
This hatred that I bore towards him helped keep him in my memories. And like I had said, he says that in the trailer too. You have to remember that hate, Cloud. Hold on to it. Use it. And that's why he's like, "You bastard!" and then runs at him and then fucking goes there. No, that's after he did that. Because he was doing the mimicking his mother, or what people think is his mother. There's someone else possibly he could have been mimicking, but we have not met him yet, so I'm not saying who that is. But then Cloud's like, "You bastard," and swings the sword down. And after that, he's like, "Remember that hate. Remember that. Hold on to that. Let it drive you." So we know that they're sticking with the same plot line. Just from that alone, of the reason why Cloud is chasing Sephiroth is because he thinks he's actually doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so Cloud is like, wow, puppet. Okay. Then okay, so he remembers he doesn't have any memories other than those that are valuable to get him to Sephiroth.
He remembers being a kid, he remembers leaving to join Soldier. He remembers being in Nibelheim, but Tifa seems very weird about the stuff that he remembers in Nibelheim. which we're about to get a little bit deeper
Because it
into
didn't happen.
with this very next episode we're about to watch too.
Okay.
So,
I'm ready to
before we
go.
jump into that, the monsters. Those
Yeah, what
are
the fuck?
called the weapons. So you've heard me talk
Okay.
about them a couple times. You did not see Ruby and you did not see Emerald. Once again, those were only added to the American version of the game, so they weren't there. Who we saw was Ultima Weapon, which was the black one that kind of shot off at the end. We saw Diamond Weapon. I can't remember what the name of the other one is. Diamond Weapon was the one that was crawling out, but the little one's like the squid-looking thing in the fucking water. I can't remember what he fucking is. I think it's Sapphire. I think it's Sapphire Weapon, or maybe it's just Weapon. But anyways, he's not that important. The other ones, like, you actually have to fucking like fight. And yeah, they're pretty rough. So basically, the magic that we saw happening once Cloud gave Sephiroth the Black Materia, that was him summoning Meteor. So Meteor has officially been summoned. The weapons were created with the planet and the ancients. That is the planet and / ancients backup defense for the planet to save itself. The only issue is that the weapons don't understand what the threat is because they can't see it. So they just basically go around start exterminating life at this point because they think people are killing the planet.
Which they are.
Yes.
But that is not the... I mean, you're swatting flies when you have a wasp's nest above your head.
So basically, like, for instance, because I mean, we won't actually dive too much into that because that's just like when you fight them, you kind of get certain shit. That's how you get Cloud's Ultima Weapon, is by killing Ultima Weapon, believe it or not. You actually have to track him down on the world map, which is pretty cool. So it's like a little chase where you keep running into him with your ship while you're like on the world map. You'll see him flying, and you keep hitting him with the ship until he stops. And whenever he actually stops, it makes you fight him. So you're like on the ship, but you're fighting him, and he's like off the ship, flying next to you, and he does like a lot of fucking damage. You can learn a move from him, Shadow Flare, but the biggest thing is that you'll get Cloud's Ultima Weapon from him, which is his fucking best weapon in the game. Obviously, you know, it's pretty late in the game whenever you can actually fucking fight him, because he's out now, but you can't fight him yet. You can't fight him until Disc 3 starts. So, but that being said, he's actually going around blowing up towns and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how you find him. He's hovering over heavy populated cities. So, like, Midgar is a place you can find him alive. Fucking all kinds of different places like that. You'll find him, and you'll fight him. So that's what those were. Those are the weapons. And that is Earth's / Ancient's last defense. Obviously, you can see she's not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to remember right there, because we always knew that Tifa taught Cloud into the Avalanche shop, but we did not know how that happened. We did not know how Cloud and Tifa first saw each other again. So we just saw Cloud was in this weird kind of state where he could barely talk, and all he could say was Tifa's name for a while, and then he kind of somewhat came out of this state, and she didn't even recognize Cloud at first, which is fair, because as she said, it's been 7 years, but he thought it had been 5. So the last time he saw her was at Nibelheim during the incident. She also said that Cloud told her that after the Sephiroth incident, he quit Soldier. But he doesn't remember joining Soldier. And something else to remember, once again, and this is where this game is so beautiful in my opinion, is like once you get this, when you start going back and thinking about like all the shit that happened in the beginning of the game, so much of it makes sense because Cloud knew who President Shinra was, but President Shinra didn't know who he was. But it made you shrug it off because he goes, "Well, unless you were going to be another Sephiroth, I probably wouldn't have known you anyway." But you would think the highest of the highest, Soldier First Class, the people who basically see the president on close to a daily basis, he would know if someone made it into that high of a ranking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially if they later quit.
So these dots start to connect and starts to fill out a little bit more, and you're starting to understand, like, what does Cloud really know? Who is Cloud really? So if you had to take one wild guess, who do you think it was that we were seeing in the memories? I will say this: you
my
have
guess
not
is
met
it's
him.
not Aerith's ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
Because that would be an easy answer. Is the guy that reminded Aerith so much of, like, Travis or whatever the heck his name was. Zach, thank you. I don't know where I got Travis.
Travis from either, but I was wrong with it.
Right. That would be my first guess, unless Tifa's got a brother or something.
Fair enough. Feel like if she had a brother, she probably would have mentioned him being in Soldier at some point. So, because he was wearing a Soldier uniform. And one thing to really look at is the fact he had the Buster Blade.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that they very prominently displayed the Buster Blade on him.
He had the Buster Blade, and he was wearing the exact same uniform as Cloud. Which I will say, for people who might be a little confused with the remake coming out, seeing Cloud wearing the Soldier uniform and it's all black in the remake, that has been something that was retconned. The purple was just a choice at the time. They have since went to all black. So Soldier First Class official, because in Crisis Core they kind of talk about the difference in color. So it's Soldier is like purple, and then I can't remember what second class is purple, and then first class you get like the all black donning. So, but in this game, Soldier First Class is purple, which is technically not. So, but yes,
probably just easier to see.
Possibly, it stood out amongst all the dark shit that was going on and stuff like that. So, once again, it's a symbol. It's a show of the times. All right, that's where that's at. But for those of you who were kind of confused of like, why is Cloud not wearing purple in the remake? That would be why. It has been retconned, 100%.
Okay. Well, do you have any other thoughts before we wrap this up?
Do I have any other thoughts? You're the person that should be having the thoughts right now.
I'm having a lot of thoughts, but I think one of the things that you may not realize is this is the first time I'm seeing this information, and there's still a lot of it that's being held back, and they're doing that on purpose. And so I have thoughts, but mostly I'm like, I know something's going on, but I don't have enough of the pieces to really say confidently, like, this is clearly what's happening. And so I mean, I know you feel like I just got a huge reveal, and I think to some pieces I did, but I don't think I've got all the pieces
I don't
yet
think you got a huge reveal. I just, because of so much of it is like kind of mysterious is more of what I meant by that. I know you didn't get a huge reveal. You did get a lot of information, and some of this stuff is starting to click, but you didn't get enough to actually get anywhere with the information.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure. I'm like, I don't think I'm getting anywhere with.
No, you definitely didn't.
Maybe I'm just not paying attention.
So,
but
when we go to start the next episode, which will start on the episode or on the mission called the Execution, I do want to point out, because this is something that happened, I couldn't really find anything, but Cloud is no longer with the party at this point. Whenever all that shit happened, Cloud was not on the ship. They left without Cloud. Cloud and Sephiroth both fell into the live stream. So that is something to point out. Cloud is not with the party.
That is hugely important.
So when we go to start this next one, Cloud will not be part of that. So this is that first spot where I told you there's some parts of the game where Cloud is not part of the party and he's not the leader. Tifa will be the official leader of the party starting the next episode.
Okay. And is there any way to have anybody other than Tifa, or is she just gonna
Cloud, Tifa, and then shortly after Tifa, I won't say why, but for some reason Sid leads the party. Those are the only 3 people. You do not get to choose. No.
Okay, got it. Just
and
wanted to know.
Strictly due to plot.
Okay.
And it will be, let me see here, because when we go to do execution, that will be a good one, but it won't last that long. It will probably be like about the size of all 3 of those first 3 we ran through together, which did not take long at all. It was more of the story aspect here, but once we run through the execution, let's see. Go to the deal. So within the next episode, hopefully, actually, yeah, within the next episode, you should actually have all the answers to pretty much everything you just watched right here.
Well, that's really good to know.
You should pretty much understand Cloud completely as a character, which will make probably a lot more sense
by the end of the next.
Because to you right now, it's probably like, well, if Cloud is Chris's favorite character and he's basically nothing but a puppet of Sephiroth, why doesn't Chris just fucking like Sephiroth? So it will make a lot more sense.
Well, my guess is there's more going on.
Obviously. One of the other things that I do want to point out before we leave from here is that Tifa did point out something very, very big. And I will go ahead and say this because it's not that much of a spoiler because of what we just kind of watched right there. She said, what about the memories of us? What about us being kids looking at the starlit skies? She did point that out. And it's not like she walked up and was like, hey, you're Cloud, right? Cloud said Tifa first. Then she noticed it was Cloud. So those are things to remember because Sephiroth's immediate comeback to that was, it's the Genova cells and it can mimic any voice it wants to and it's telling you what you think you want Tifa to say to you.
So he noticed and recognized her before she said anything.
At that train station we just watched, remember? When she walked up, she's like,
yeah,
hey, are
no,
you okay?
I'm verifying.
Yes. She said, hey, are you okay? And then he looked at her and he goes, Tifa? 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 And she still didn't recognize him. And then she goes, oh, wait, Cloud? Oh my God, what are you doing here? Yeah, she did not say Cloud first. He recognized her first. That's some very important to remember. Because Sephiroth's got a lot of fucking good manipulation. You got to see that firsthand. Like he is very strong, and he's not even fucking basically a whole person right now.
Yeah, he's not totally alive, and he's still way stronger than everybody else. Sephiroth, so that's great.
Rough. He's stupid powerful. That's why whenever like you go back and think about when Cloud's like, I mean, I don't know how Sephiroth wouldn't have won against me. It's like, now you look and see all this power Sephiroth has. Like, what did fucking happen in Nibelheim 5 years ago? I want to fucking know. Well, that will all.
Did you hit him at the same time lightning struck him? Like, Jesus.
That will all be, like I said, if we can get through the 2 spots quick enough, which I think we can. There's some story, not too much, but if we get to the 2 spots quick enough, we can definitely, most likely, it's either going to be the next episode or the episode after that, for sure. Not only will we wrap up Cloud's story and Tifa's story, we will wrap up what actually happened in Nibelheim 5 years ago. 100%.
So no more details just hanging in the ether. We're actually going to have
I'm going to be so happy because like that's pretty close to the end of like spoiler territory. Like once we're done with that, there's a little bit of spoilers here and there as far as like with the whole Vincent story because we still haven't gotten that yet and the whole Lucrezia and shit. But as far as like Cloud and all this other stuff that I'm always wanting to fucking talk to you about, I'll be able to fucking talk about it finally. Oh God. So excited.
That will be nice.
But you can go ahead and take us out. That's about it for here.
All right, friends, that is going to wrap up our 14th class on the Final Fantasy VII semester. Please jump in the comments, but do remember, we are really close to getting to the end of spoilers. So if you're going to throw them in there, Chris is going to remove them, and he's not going to let those spoilers go through. Save those for the classes we're actually revealing the spoilers and whatnot.
She
But
right, I won't.
other than that, tell us if you're enjoying this content. Tell us if you want to see something more. Tell us if what you just saw blew your mind or there were things that you didn't actually realize the first time you played through. But either way, we're happy to interact with you in those comments or on our Twitter or Twitch links, which you can find below. Most importantly, if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. That will help us in a huge way. And turn on notifications so you know when to come to our next class. Bye, friends.